Well, usually he's wearing blue, but he's got his shirt off here. This is a New York City Police Department officer who has stripped down to put physical fitness to the test and help us all get more physical.
That's right. And you think he's fit. Look at his girlfriend. She's fit, too. And this is proof.
Right. Together, they don't have any carbs in the house.
No, they don't. In fact,
they're going to work us out today. I'm scared.
Not just a workout. It's going to be a challenge. The guy with no shirt on is going to challenge you. You're going to do the same thing. I will be
shirtless, right? You're also going to be shirtless for the segment.
And you'll be squaring off against a girlfriend.
Will there be time for Bret Baier to get to New York? Because I know he'd like to participate in this.
He can watch along with everybody else.
I want to go hit the gym.
Let's hit the polls instead. Donald Trump, Bret, good morning to you. He's still top in the field right now. The latest CNN poll has him at 24%. Carly Fiorina did jump a bit, got a bump there at 15%. Dr. Ben Carson at 14%. Marco Rubio also climbing up there at 11%. And then NBC had new results as well. Trump is still in the lead.
Yeah. You know, listen, he was dominant going into that debate, significantly so. So anybody who thought that he was going to drop precipitously, I think that was wrong to begin with, number one. Number two, that whole issue of I fund my own campaign and everybody else is beholden to all of these special interests and lobbyists, that is a really powerful message.
Yeah.
And as we look at these polls and the internals, when he talks like that, it's an automatic applause line and something that brings people to Donald Trump. So I don't expect him to change from that status that soon.
Right, so now the big story is Ben Carson, number 2 or 3 in almost every poll, and one of the great stories of this summer/fall. He comes out and was asked a question over the weekend and about a Muslim. What about should religion matter? And should you be, if you're a Muslim, does it matter? Let's listen.
Should a president's faith matter? Should your faith matter to voters?
Well, I guess it depends on what that faith is. If it's inconsistent with the values and principles of America, then of course it should matter. But if it fits within the realm of America and consistent with the Constitution, no problem.
So do you believe that Islam is consistent with the Constitution?
No, I don't. I do not. I would not advocate that we put a Muslim in charge of this nation. I absolutely would not agree with that.
Seems to be a major problem, his answer. Your reaction, Bret?
Well, he's defending it. The campaign is defending it, saying that strict adherence to Sharia law does not line up with the U.S. Constitution. There are other candidates out now denouncing that. Lindsey Graham, for example, said that Ben Carson needs to apologize.
Sure.
Others have weighed in, and now you have a number of Islamic groups saying that he should drop out from the race. That's not going to happen, but it will, I'm sure, drive some of the political reporting today.
Sure, it absolutely will. You know, Donald Trump has been able to use some controversial comments to his advantage, particularly when it comes to poll numbers and support from the base. He actually came on our program today and defended Ben Carson, saying, look, this is about the right to have an opinion and freedom of speech. Listen to this.
Look, he's speaking his opinion. That's his opinion. And, you know, you're supposed to be, we talk about freedom of speech. He feels very strongly about it. I watched some of his representatives talking, and he feels very strongly about it.
He does. He also said that he goes, I'm not telling a Muslim should not run, be prevented from running. He's just saying he wouldn't vote for him. So what's the big fallout, if there is any, from this, Bret?
Well, you're right. I mean, the specific word he said is, I would not advocate for that. Yeah. And that's where the campaign is hanging its hat. I think all of this is just a focus, and that there are a lot of people who are going to try to paint, you know, conservatives a certain way, saying that they're racist in some way. Listen, Dr. Ben Carson tells a very compelling story, and Donald Trump is right. He is expressing his opinion. That opinion is controversial, and it'll get some attention.
Sure. And Hillary Clinton has come out and has lambasted Donald Trump himself. Donald Trump, when he was on our program a half an hour ago, he said people need to take a look at what Hillary's campaign actually started regarding Barack Obama back in 2007, 2008, where it was her campaign that helped create this rumor that Barack Obama had been born in Kenya and was a Muslim. That was his suggestion. The reason I mentioned that is because Hillary Clinton was on CBS's Face the Nation yesterday, and even though she's been in politics, Bret, for decades, she is now an outsider. Listen to this.
I mean, look, I am a real person with all the pluses and minuses that go along with being that. And I've been in the public eye for so long that I think, you know, it's like the feature that you see in some magazines sometimes. Real people actually go shopping, you know?
All right. Well,
Bret, she went on to say that she was an outsider. If she's an outsider, who's in?
Yeah, well, she said she'd be an outsider if she was elected as a woman, and obviously politics dominated by men. I think it's really interesting to watch the Hillary Clinton campaign, react to some of the criticism, and it's almost like an advisor said, "You need to be a real person," and then she said the line, "I am a real person." And you know, it comes after that New York Times piece a couple of weeks ago that said they were going to have, you know, planned spontaneity. And emotion, and then you had concern about the crowds and the enthusiasm, and suddenly she's on the campaign trail saying these crowds are great, and she's dancing with people. So
well, you know, I got to ask you something. But here's the thing. She's not answered the question when it came down to the emails. At the end of the first segment, she was asked the question, you know, who are you why are you sorry, and who are you apologizing to? She has no answer, and then she says with the server, well, everyone did it. Really? Who are these other people that use servers in their house? Are there any?
Yeah, no, they used private emails. Sure, Colin Powell has said that, but nobody had this elaborate system of a private server.
Sure.
And I think that those answers have not improved that much over time about the email server, and I don't think it's gone away, even though she's doing many more interviews. We've invited her, by the way, on Special Report, and we hope she comes.
Sure, and ultimately the reason she's now saying she's a real person is because she is losing in Iowa and New Hampshire. And the campaign has made it very clear she's got to win the first 4 spots, and right now she is trailing big time in the first 2.
She did go up in the national poll, the latest national poll by CNN, a little bit on the national front. But you're right, in those early states, there is a real issue, and that's why she spent a lot of time in New Hampshire over the past couple of weeks as she's seeing those numbers upside down.
And one thing about Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, they're real people. They're pretty authentic. Love them or not love them, they're authentic. Yeah. As is Bret Baier. We'll see you at 6 o'clock tonight unless you have other plans.
We'll see you then,
I'm going to hit the gym.
Okay, I would too.
All right.
Maybe he'll do the show tonight with no shirt on, like the guy we're going to have on in a little bit.
Well, if he does it, you know the rule. If he does it, the whole panel has to have no shirt on.
Okay, great.
That's how it goes.
We'll be watching then.
6 p.m.
All right.
on the East Coast.